guys, welcome to our webinar. My name is Lina. I'm here on behalf of YouScan. I'm Customer Success Manager at YouScan, and I'm glad to greet you here today. Thank you for your interest in AI queries that we will be showing today. So I want to give you a brief introduction how our session will be. So basically, we want it to be a live session. So it will be a sharing of the platform where we will be together working on creating in real time AI queries. I want to remind you that YouScan counts with AI assistants that actually is pretty useful and pretty easy to use when you want to create AI query. However, the aim of the session is actually to provide you with some tips and tricks and some guidance on which prompts you actually can use to achieve the better results with your queries. So I just want to share my screen and remind you that as usually we have here a chat where you can share your questions. Any question about any case we will be covering today, and in the end of the session we will just keep some additional minutes to cover all questions and answer to all of you to clarify any doubts that can arise. So the agenda for today is actually composed of 4 main cases. The first case will be a brand case. We will be checking how to create a brand query with focus on specific brand, which can be even not so much like unique one. We will be focusing on a generic brand name. Then we will be moving slowly to the benchmark case. We will be checking how we can create with AI benchmark comparison, even if we don't know what are the comparisons of what are the main competitors of the brand we are focusing on. Then the next case will be dedicated to influencers search because we all know that sometimes you are requested also to work on some brief to cover some search that should be dedicated to influencers. So we'll be covering this one as well. And the last one will be a good case where we'll be taking a brief, like a literal brief, and we will be inserting it into AI to see how it can create also query based on this one. Also, during their presentation, I will be showing you how to work with prompts to achieve the first version of the query, and later on how to work with additional questions, additional follow-ups to improve the result. Because as you all know, sometimes their perfect query can take some time also to polish it. So we will be also focusing on this process together. And the last bonus part will be the audit with AI, which actually will be dedicated to work with already created query, already created topic on the brand, where we'll be trying to basically clean up noise, see how we can improve results of already created query at YouScan. I hope it will be interesting. So let's begin. So here we are at YouScan panel where we usually create new topics. This is how our AI assistant looks like. And as you can see, we actually have here 2 different modes, fast and extended, as usually is any AI that you can use currently. However, to be honest, I prefer the fast mode because first you need to wait less to achieve to get the result, and second, I believe that it's like basically a better way to work with AI assistant. Still, there can be some cases like the one with long brief where we can try to apply extended version of AI assistant here because it may need more time to process it correctly and give us better results. So let's try first with fast one. As I told you, the first case we'll be covering today will be dedicated to brand monitoring. So for this example, I actually decided to take Apple brand because we all know Apple brand. We all know what is iPhone, what is MacBook. However, we know that Apple still can be fruit. So it's a little bit difficult to configure good query and cover Apple mentions without noise and fruits. So which prompt we actually can use here? It will be a very basic one. I have already prepared prompts so that we could move on faster. And we will use a simple one. Can you create a query to monitor the Apple brand in the US? I suggest you be very, very precise with the market because like such brand as Apple, it can be actually mentioned globally. So if we don't put specific indication to AI, which market we want to focus on, it can bring you additional mentions that maybe not in the scope like of your monitoring. We click on proceed. And at this moment, the AI assistant, query assistant starts working with this prompt. What we can do next? First, we can click on history to check any result or any past request that you were running with AI assistant. We can also check here the query. We see that it has specific logic, But how can we understand basically what was the details of this logic, why AI applied this logic? We can go to full conversation, and that's where you have actually a chat with AI, where you can actually see what was the logic that was applied here. So we're searching for brand apple, common word fruit, and we need to anchor it to product context. So basically what AI here does, it tries to apply here additional context like iPhone, iPad, Mac, MacBook, iMac, so that we could collect dimensions that are relevant actually for the brand. Also, as you can see, it is pretty smart to exclude generic variants like Pro, Plus, because they would bring us match across all tech products. And as you can see, we capture mentions like just upgraded to the new Apple iPhone and loving it, but we don't capture I ate an apple for breakfast because it's not something that we want to actually bring here. Also, as you can see, like the end hashtags, they are searched globally. They're searched with US filter, but for example, the rest of their queries actually can be searched globally. So here we come to an important part where we will be working with additional questions, additional prompts that will have help us to polish this query. So the first one I can actually apply here because I can continue chatting with AI on this, will be apply country US filter to the whole query. This is the common one I usually use because I'm pretty lazy actually to apply it manually. So I just paste it here, and as you can see now we have all parentheses, all brackets here to advance. We have here a lower number of mentions, and we can actually go to mentions and check what actually we are bringing here. This is preview. It doesn't mean that we are checking all mentions, but this is just to have an idea what exactly we are bringing and what might be here still not relevant, maybe at some point. I see that we are actually bringing here everything with Apple TV, airports, Apple Mac, but there can be still some mentions, for example, on Apple Pay. There can be some mentions on Apple TV and Apple Music, right? Because it can still be related to phones, to computers. What happens, for example, if I don't want to have this mentioned because I want it to be focused specifically on products? I can run another prompt here. Actually, this will generate me the third version, as you can see. And let's try to do that actually. The prompt will look like this. Can you exclude noise on Apple TV, Apple Pay, and Apple Music mentions? Just like that. In such case, what's good about our AI assistant that works on the level of query creation is that it's adapted to our format of queries. So if you, of course, you can go to OpenAI, you can go to ChatGPT, you can go to Gemini and also configure queries. We all do that at some point, but there still can be possibilities that at some point that AI will generate you queries that it's not totally adapted to YouScan format. However, this one, it works perfectly here. So it applies as the correct exclusion operator, which will be EndNote, Apple TV, Apple Pay, Apple Music. And now we see that we have lower number of results actually, and we can be sure that we actually don't bring anything on Apple TV, Apple Pay, Apple Music. However, as you can see, we still have here a lot of promotional noise, right? We have here lots of links. How we can actually work with this to achieve better result, how we can clean up this noise. So in such case, what I usually do, I ask also AI to exclude noise that contains promotional links and specifically beginning of the link, which can be like HTTPS. Let's try also this prompt that I have, for example, on my list. It's pretty basic one. Please exclude noise that contains promotional links. And we run it here, and we can check together how it will look like in the end. Let's just give it a couple of seconds. It's fast version, but still not as much fast actually to process it in 1 second. As you can see, we added here exclusions with HTTPS, with www, and other types of links actually that can bring us noise. And now it looks a little bit better because we actually focusing on the products, right? We are focusing on US, and we don't bring anything on Apple TV, Apple Pay, Apple Music. So this is the first case that we covered today, and I really hope to find in the end of this session actually some questions of yours in chat, so feel free to share them. Just a quick reminder. In the meantime, we will be passing to a new case here. I will be just clicking on new conversation, and now we will be covering a benchmark case, right? This one will be also interesting because we'll be taking a very well-known brand, which is Amazon. And let's imagine that we don't know who are the competitors of Amazon in the US, because maybe some people don't know it. Still, we want to be sure that at the level of benchmark analysis that we are running, we cover the most important brands at this level. So what we can do, we can ask AI assistant to generate us a query to monitor Amazon and its competitors in the US. And in such case, I would also add language filter because it can bring you results in different languages, even from US. So to be sure, I will be adding to my prompt here with English language. Let's try to run this prompt and let's see what it brings us. Amazon, of course, it's pretty unique brand name, right? But still we have here Target competitor, we have here Best Buy competitor, we have here Shipt. We have like some other types of competitors here that can bring us results like on Target. Like here where Target, it's not a brand actually. Target is like aim, it's Target's generic word. So it's a little bit difficult here for AI from the start to generate like a very polished query because I didn't add here context. Still, we can go to full conversation and check what was the additional logic that was applied. So we search for Amazon, it's a common word, but it always requires 5 proximity to e-commerce context. That's actually what was added here. However, we see that there are some brands like, for example, Target and Best Buy that still can generate us some noise. Let's try to work on this. And I want to use here first prompt, additional one, to actually clean up results, which will be the one related to Target, because I already noticed that Target generates us some noise. Can you clean up noise on Target, not related to this brand, competitor of Amazon? The more precise you are actually on the level of your prompt, on the level of your question, the better will be the result with AI in the end, actually. That's my general suggestion when we work with queries. Try to be as much precise and here exact as possible. Still, if you see that there's some context lacking, you can always run another prompt, additional one. So now we have Target and Shop, Target and Store, Target Retail, right? We can actually run the same prompt for Best Buy or any other competitor we see that brings us irrelevant results. In the end, as you can see, we have good logic, country US, language English. So it brings us now pretty nice results, as I see, Etsy, Walmart, and all brands that are actually at the level of this benchmark. However, we still can get with Amazon some noise on, for example, Amazon Prime, right? Because we're searching for Prime. And what can we do if we actually don't want to search Amazon Prime? We just want Amazon Shop, Amazon Store, Amazon Online, order, purchase, like everything related to e-commerce. In such case, we also can add additional prompt here and ask AI to exclude Prime and other noise not related to Amazon, and again ask to exclude some noise not related to competitors, right? Because we are not limited with the number of additional follow-ups we can run here. So let's try this one, and then we will be checking also here full conversation. Also, at some moment you see that some previous version was better, you can also always restore it here because we save all versions that correspond to each follow-up that you're running with AI. So let's check now. We have pretty good logic for Amazon. We have pretty good logic for Walmart. Target now is actually searched correctly with the context. And let's go to the bottom part. That's the most interesting because we see here that we now excluded Prime Video, Prime Music, Prime Gaming, Amazon Prime Video, movie, film, series, everything that is not related so much to e-commerce I want to focus on. And we also have generic exclusions like rainforest, jungle, river, Brazil, Peru, ecosystem. Also, as you can see, AI is pretty smart to include here non-retail target mentions, target audience, which can be the first guess that when you talk about target market, sales target, everything that might be maybe not so much directly related to e-commerce, but in this context can generate some noise in the results. So let's check here what we have. If you see that we shipped, we have the same, we can run additional follow up here and ask also to exclude noise on Shipt, where Shipt is actually not the brand we are searching for. After checking here the logic of AI that was applied in the end, and we will be moving to the next case. The next case will be related to influencer search, and this is something that can be done at YouScan if you have additional add-on that is called Audience Insight, because it actually helps us to search for profiles that will be within specific logic. So I will stop here and will update new conversation so that we could get back to a new case. And the next one will be influencers query case, right? Here we will be focusing on lifestyle category of creators, content creators. And here, my general suggestion will be that once you are building a query on influencer search, it's also important to check the logic of our operators, because we have lots of operators that help you actually to search for specific characteristics, aspects of authors. And maybe at some point AI takes their own operator, not the one that you actually want to be included. For example, takes interest where you want to search it by bio. So I usually, what I do, I ask AI actually to include the exact operator in my search so that I could achieve the best result. Let's imagine that my goal is focused on TikTok lifestyle creators, and I want them to be from the UK, or I want them to be, for example, the influencers that use UK related hashtags. Because, for example, some sources like Instagram or even TikTok, they can have some restrictions on geo, and not all mentions might have geo data, or just simply because the author doesn't share it. So what we can do, we can try to work with it, just asking AI to add UK related hashtags, which can be used by these content creators of lifestyle category. I also want the influencers to be like pretty big ones. I want them to have at least 100,000 followers. So this is something that I also will be using on the level of my prompt. How my prompt, a typical prompt actually looks like. So I ask again AI, can you create a query? And I want to monitor creators of lifestyle and in bio, because I actually want it to be a search in bio. I don't want it to be searched by interest. I also usually add operator to just focus a little bit AI on the search I really want to achieve here. I also pretty specific with the source, because I want it to be in TikTok, and I want it to be the influencer set actually from the UK, which are using also UK related hashtags. Also, I'm pretty specific here with the number of subscribers, because I don't want to get their like small profiles. So I just indicate to the AI on the level of prompt, please use also subscribers combination as filter, and please focus it on 100,000 subscribers, basically a list. Let's try this prompt, okay? This is the third case that we are covering with AI today, and I remind you that we are using for all of them here like fast mode, because we are on a live session, and I understand that it won't be as much interesting for you to wait for longer for AI to load here data. However, with the next case, we also will try another option here after we finish with the influencers case. So what we have here so far, we are searching author bio, lifestyle, day in my life, daily vlog, wellness, self-care, beauty, fashion, travel, fitness. We have here UK location hashtags. We search it in TikTok. We search in Great Britain, and we search also UK related keywords in bio, which I actually consider pretty smart of AI to do. And as you can see, we are locking the search to author subscribers more than 100,000, with more than 100,000 followers. Okay, we have here mentions how we can confirm that these profiles actually correspond to the logic of lifestyle category, because we see here obviously their number of subscribers, but how we can confirm that they are relevant for lifestyle. So I can just click on each profile, and I see that actually we indeed search here lifestyle category profiles, because we see here lifestyle with this profile. We have here, for example, travel that we have also included in the first list. Still, it's a question of methodology, because sometimes some of you don't consider, for example, travel profile as lifestyle profile, right? Maybe you just want it to be a lifestyle specifically, or you want these profiles to be the ones that talk about like day in my life, routine, wellness, self-care. So what we can do in such case, we can try to work with additional prompts, because we are not limited with the number of prompts that we can use for following up. So what we will be doing here, we actually will ask AI to just close this search to lifestyle keywords in author bio. This is also a typical prompt I usually use that helps me to achieve better result. Let's try how it works, and let's check again the history of conversation, right? So we just move a little bit lower, and we see that we're searching author bio lifestyle keywords. And we still maintain targeting with Great Britain as country level filter, UK location mentions, and separate author bio check, as well as closing this search to UK specific lifestyle hashtags, as you can see. Then we have threshold that ensures established creators only within their specific limit, which is more than 100,000 subscribers. So now, as you can see, we have here the second version, but still it includes travel, because AI actually considers it's relevant for this category. However, what I can do, I can actually ask AI to exclude in bio travel keywords, right? Because, for example, the rest is good for me, but, for example, this one is not. Exclude travel keywords in author bio block, just like that. Also, if you are not as lazy as I am, you actually can just like cut this keyword from here. If it's just one keyword, maybe it makes noise, generate noise. You can just do it manually. It's also available. I'm just too lazy today to do that. And let's check the results. Now we have lower number of mentions here, but if we check bio of the profiles, we see that we actually search for lifestyle. We actually search for fashion. We actually search for fashion again. Let's check this profile as well. Routine, wellness, which is also pretty relevant for lifestyle bloggers. With this search, I can actually advance if I want to work in this category. If you want, it is still possible to polish it, to add additional hashtags. However, as we need to move to another case, we'll be stopping here with influencer case, and we will be cleaning this query. So the next case we'll be covering today will be a case on brief, because we all know that you usually have briefs that you receive, for example, from clients, from management, from other teams, and sometimes you just need to create a query based on specific brief, right? AI is actually capable of reading briefs, but there are specific details that are important to include in this brief. The first one will be, of course, the country level filter, right? Because if you don't tell AI where you want to search this result, it will be pretty generic, it will be global search, and it will be a pretty big search that you then need to work on and clean. Also, I suggest apply language filter also on the level of brief, because maybe you just want to work with mentions in specific language, right? Let's imagine that we have a task to work with skincare ingredients brief, right? And we need to actually analyze what ingredients people discuss online, what are benefits or concerns they associate with these ingredients. We may have in our brief specific terms already. That's also helpful for AI. We may not have them. That's also fine. I have here test briefs that we actually can use for today. And I will just copy it and we'll check it together. And I will be using here extended version of AI today, because this is basically a longer prompt I want to use here. So I will be just pasting it here, and let's check it together. So the first block of my brief includes a geography requirement. So I want it to be focused on US. Again, I want it to apply separately, country not defined, to cover mentions in English. Why I want this logic also to be applied? Because there are some sources, and I mentioned to you before, that sometimes don't have geodata. right? For example, one of the sources is Instagram. However, within this search, I also want to focus on skincare ingredients discussion from Instagram. So I want to apply in my brief also this part so that I could bring mentions from this source as well. Also, I want these mentions to be in English. And here goes actually my brief. Identify skincare ingredients. Focus on active ingredients, routines, focus on ingredient effectiveness, reactions, focus on hero ingredients, basically the ones that are leading in terms of conversation. And I want this to be focused on skincare enthusiasm, beauty community, product reviewers. Also, as you can see, as usually, my brief contains some keywords that are vital, for example, because I want it to be focused on retinol, on vitamin C, on ceramides, and other types of ingredients that are very popular lately, right? And the expected output for me is snapshot of the most talked about skincare ingredients. So I also want AI to know about it so that once it is configuring a query for me, it also is taken into consideration. So let's try this prompt. And I just remind you that we are working with extended mode here, which takes a little bit longer in terms of processing because the brief itself also is bigger, longer. But I believe you will be surprised with the results, and it should be pretty good output here by yourself. Let's check what it brings us. We have 2 million mentions here, and we're searching for core ingredient terms. We're searching for them in skincare context, right? We're searching for them also with specific acronyms, and we have here relevant hashtags. Let's check, for example, the blog on geography and the blog on sources, right? So as you can see, we're searching results from US or country not defined, basically results that don't contain mentions of the country or are not posted actually from US, but they're posted in English from Instagram. So this way I ensure that I actually cover results from Instagram perfectly. And we can again open here full conversation, and we can see what was their initial idea of AI behind this query. So we apply here 10 proximity. Proximity is actually this operator /10, which is basically the maximum distance we admit here between one block and another, because we want their ingredients to be searched together with specific context, which is skincare context, right? Then we have dual geography, as I actually requested AI to apply. And we have here examples of mentions that we are capturing, right? Like my serum has been amazing for specific problem, right? Still, it may be that this content that we are now collecting on the preview can contain some promotional content or can contain some mentions that are not relevant at some point. So as we are talking here about pretty high volume of results, and we will need still to clean these results, I prefer to run additional follow-ups here to ensure I actually capture all relevant information and I don't need to modify the already created topic, right? So the first prompt I actually want to use here to follow up and a little bit extend basically the scope will be related to hashtags, because we all know that when people talk in social media about specific ingredients, they might use also hashtags, lots of hashtags. And this list actually is pretty short, and I believe that we can actually try to extend it. So what I will try to do here, I will ask AI to add more hashtags related to conversation. This will be the first follow-up I will be using here, first to increase the volume of relevant results I capture with hashtags, especially for Instagram, where search is done with hashtags. Let's check how it works. So we excluded, based on their logic of AI, actually, we excluded all conversations that captures URLs, common promotional phrases like link in bio, shop now, use code, affiliate sponsored markets. And now this is the end block that we actually added that helps us to get and dive deeper into more organic conversation on ingredients related to skincare. Okay, I see that we still don't have questions in the chat, so just want to remind you that if you have any doubt, any question, you can just post your question there, and in the end of the session, basically within 15 minutes, we will be able to cover all of them. As I told you, this is the last case we are covering here in the level of topic creation, and our next stop will be related to topic audit. Right? I will be moving now to a new tab, and here I want to show you that we will be covering topic audit case based on Alo Yoga brand. Right? We will be checking together how we can clean up noise, or how we can improve results on the level of the topics that I already work on. Right? We have here Alo Yoga. It's a very simple one, actually. We search for Alo Yoga with space between keywords, and Alo Yoga basically is hashtags all together in Great Britain. However, I want to improve a little bit this topic. The first one, the first thing I can do actually here, I can try to amplify results, because I want to focus not only on the UK, I want to focus as well on US. So what I can do, I can ask here, I suggest here using fast mode, but it's also a topic of basically of taste. So if you see that actually extended mode that that downloads data a little bit longer works best for you, you can also try to play around with this one. For this one, we will be using fast mode, and the first prompt I will be using here to improve results will be apply US country filter as well, additionally to country UK. Okay, I will be launching here my question, and within seconds we will see actually how our query has changed and how our volume of results has changed. So now we are not just collecting mentions of on Alo Yoga from UK, we are collecting also these mentions from the US. Let's imagine that I want to include here also mentions from Instagram, because we know that some mentions might not have geodata. So what we can do, we can try to apply here separate prompt to apply separate logic for country search, like not defined country, and cover mentions in English from Instagram. So I will be adding this prompt as well here to make sure that AI generates me the correct logic for this specific search. Now I can also apply here a different prompt that will be related to languages, because it may be that I don't want to focus only on mentions common in English. I want also to collect mentions in Spanish, Chinese, Thai language, French, Portuguese, Arabic, or any other language actually that you want to monitor. It is vital for such searches actually to use not only keywords in English, but also use keywords and brand name keywords in local languages, right? So what I can do, actually, I can use additional prompt which will add keywords in different languages, and among them I specify actually the languages I want to be included. Let's try this prompt, and let's focus on the result that AI gives us here. As you can see, now we have here on the level of full conversation, we see that we actually search for Alo Yoga quoted, right? So that we don't have here noise that is not related to brand. And we add translations for each requested language. AI does it for you automatically, so you don't need to go to Google Translate. You don't need to go to ChatGPT. You don't want to go to Gemini to generate these keywords. You don't want to go to locals to ask how this brand will be named in their language, the results. So what I can do, I can ask AI to add more variants and hashtags related to conversation on Alo Yoga, right? Just like that, I'm doing it. I'm just adding here more hashtags, more variants. And after a couple of seconds, we'll be able to check how it works. So we have here now a separate block related to hashtags, Alo Yoga, Alo Yoga UK, and other types of hashtags people can use actually searching for these brand keywords. And you can see here how increased actually the volume of conversation now as we added these combinations. However, I want now to do another thing. I actually want also to include into this conversation and into this result also mentions coming specifically from Alo Yoga pages, right? Because Alo Yoga can also post some content and I want it to be covered. So what I can do, I can actually use a prompt. It's pretty common one that I usually work with. And here to be actually specific, and in order not to bring actually profiles that just have allo in their name, I would like to use actually author nickname combination. And here I'm trying to configure the prompt that way that it's pretty specific for AI to apply. So I wanted to include author nickname operators a separate line to search for own content of allo yoga communities and social media. And let's try how it works. To combine basically earned content and owned content on the level of this query, what we can do, we can ask AI to replace and operator with or between author nickname and country block, right? So replace and operator with or between country block and author nickname block. Still, remind you that you can do it manually if you want, but if you're as much lazy as I am, you can also try to do it with AI. So now we have here a combined search on Allo Yoga brand in different languages with lots of hashtags, which we search in country, Great Britain, in the US, in the UK, in the US, in country not defined to cover Instagram, and we also searching for content, own content of the brand Allo Yoga that comes from the pages, official ones. So we just need, maybe it's my internet connection. Let's just wait for YouScan to download here data so that we could check actually the results. Right, and as you can see here, we have conversation on allo. Maybe at some point actually allo keyword, it's not the best to include separately. So what we can do, we can run additional prompt. Please exclude noise with allo that is not related to allo yoga. Right, because I don't want to clean it by myself once I create topic and collect the data, so better to ensure that actually everything that I collect is relevant for my search. So now, as you can see, with Allo, AI introduced us a specific context, and we can actually check in conversation how it looks like. So we are searching Allo, not standalone, right? Not alone, but with specific keywords with proximity 5 to ensure that we are focusing on yoga and active wear content.